Hey guys, today we're going to tell a quick story of how we quadrupled the leads that one of our clients were generating. So we're going to tell this in story form. When we met this prospect, we were just going through Google looking for solar options and their ad appeared on Google. There were a few things wrong with the ad, and this is the first lesson of how to get more leads from your Google ads. The text in the Google ad was very generic. It didn't speak of a specific offer. It didn't address a pain point or fear that we would have had at the point that would suggest that we needed solar. It was very general, not very specific, not speaking to the core desires that would motivate any client or prospect for going solar. There were a few advantages or benefits listed, but they weren't listed in such a way that they would captivate your attention. The headings were absolutely atrocious in the sense that in the headings there was nothing there to grab your attention, keep you focused and entertain you to click. So their click-through rate was really suffering. What we did was we called up this client, this prospect at the time, and we said to them that there are a few things wrong with your Google ad. We didn't mention the heading and the text because that wouldn't have been something that would have caught their attention and said to them, you know what, this is something that we need to fix. Which brings us to the next thing that was wrong. The next thing that was wrong was that their landing page was not optimized to capture leads. And what happened was that when you went to the landing page, it was very slow. That's the first point. The design was very poor. We want to keep this client anonymous. So if we share screenshots of their landing page when we met them, we will have it blurred out in their logo and their name and branding, but you'll have an idea of what the landing page looks like. So the landing page was not very good. The other thing that was happening was there weren't any testimonials on the landing page. There wasn't an offer on the landing page that said, hey, this is why you should become a lead in our business. There was also not a description of the business. The design was also poor. The copy of the landing page was poor. The copy is the word, how we use the word to convey emotions and build trust. That was non-existent. So that was the second thing that was wrong. The third thing that was wrong, and this is something we found out later, is that whenever you clicked on their ad, you went to their landing page, and let's say you made it that far despite everything that was wrong, and you actually signed up to become a lead. Mind you, signing up to become a lead was another problem because they were asking for a lot of unnecessary and irrelevant information. So this would have been the third point. The fourth point will come after. So their form was very long. And the thing I want you guys to understand, when you're generating leads, the more information you ask for, so if you ask for their first name, last name, email, phone number, address, and them to complete 3 paragraphs, you're gonna get far less leads than if you asked only for their name and email. And the reason this is because the more fields that a prospect has to complete, the less likely it is that they're going to complete it. And that's because of the friction and time and investment involved in completing all that information. The form on their landing page was asking for a lot of relevant information. Having a lot of fields on your form and reducing the amount of leads that you get can also be a good thing, because when you ask for more information, what you're going to find out happen is that you're going to get higher quality leads. So if someone goes through the trouble of filling out a 5-field form, they are very serious about you and doing business with you. Meanwhile, if you only ask for name and email, you're going to get some people looking for the best price and they're not very serious or very interested in doing business. No, the trade-off to that, however, is that some of these people who aren't at this time very interested are who will use email marketing to build a relationship with, so that whenever they're ready, they choose us, they choose you. So you're defeating yourself when you ask for a lot of fields unnecessarily. If you're selling something like insurance or real estate, you perhaps want to have a lot more information, but the less information you require, the better. So that was the third thing that was wrong. Their forms were asking for too much information. The fourth thing, and this is something I alluded to earlier, is that we only found this out once we started working with the client, is that the email leads that they collected, they weren't being welcomed into the email list. They never had a welcome email set up. So that's the very first thing that was wrong. The second thing that was wrong, which is point 4.2. So point 4.1 is that they never had a welcome email or a drip campaign set up. And we have a video on emails and drip campaigns you can watch right here. The second thing, or point 4.2, is that they never sent regular emails to their list. And the reason why this is terrible is because if you collect leads, the idea behind collecting leads is to build a relationship with your prospect so that whenever they are ready to do business, they know you, they love you, they trust you, and they hand over their hard-earned money to you to solve a problem that they have, the problem that you should be educating them on how to solve. If you're not emailing your leads and you only send them an email whenever you have a promotion or you have a sale, then that bodes poorly. How would you feel if you have a friend where whenever that friend needed money, they reached out to you and no other time? So they never reach out for your birthday, they never send you well wishes over the holidays, nothing. They just come whenever they need money and then that's it. You wouldn't like that friend very much and you perhaps would not be friends. It was the same thing here. They weren't nurturing their leads, they weren't using a welcome email or a drip campaign. The fifth thing, and perhaps the most important, is they weren't optimizing their Google Ads whatsoever. And what that means is they didn't go into their Google Ads account. They didn't look at what was working, what wasn't working, looking at the suggestions from Google to say this is what you should do or should not do. None of those things were happening. So what their metrics looks like is over the past few months, up until we had called them, we called them in November of 2022. From about June of 2022, they had a steady decrease in the impressions on their ad. And that was very critical because if your impressions are decreasing, it means that your ads are not performing very well. Google realizes this and show your ads to less people. That was a major thing that was happening at the time. When we called them, we called the prospect, we said to them that we're looking at your Google ad, we're looking at your landing page. These are the things that are wrong. And the things that we listed to you are things we would have seen with our eyes and we shared with them. Wisely, the client decided to go ahead and do business with us. We signed a contract and we got started on working. Here's what we did to solve this problem. So the very first thing, and these are things that you can do for your Google Ads as well. The very first thing is that we designed a new landing page. This landing page had their offer, it had their company description, like who they are, what they do, why they do what they do. It had a lot of testimonials and a lot of product photos. It was solar, it is Jamaica, very competitive space. By doing this, something that the competitors were not doing, what we realized happened was that whenever a prospect came to their landing page, they would know who this company is, who they have served, the problems they have solved, what their past customers have to say about them, and the form, which is the second thing that we looked at, only required 2 or 3 bits of information. For the client's privacy and their own strategy, we're not going to share the fields that were required, but it wasn't your standard name and email. There was a bit more, and for good reason as well, which fit into that client's brand and the type of prospects they were trying to attract. We fixed their landing page in terms of we set them a design, had them put that design together, and we fixed the form in terms of showing them the fields that they needed to ask for. Require as less fields as possible, and we went from there. The second thing that we did is we added a drip campaign to their email. Notice we haven't touched the Google Ads as yet, and the reason is because you don't want to trouble your Google Ads. You don't want to make changes to your Google Ads to spend more money or try to get more leads if where you're going to generate the leads, which is your website, your email, is not optimized for leads, correct? So what we did was we optimized their email. We set up a 3-step drip campaign to get started, and that eventually got to 8 steps. We eventually got it to 8 steps for the welcome email, and the reason why we went to 8 steps and ideally 10 is because it takes an average of 9 to 11 touch points. I don't know why they say that statistic like that. It takes an average of 9 to 11 touch points for a prospect to decide to do business with you, and that touch point is how many times they come in to contact or interact with your business. So via social media, email, Google Ads, over the radio, television, YouTube. Those are all touch points. Using email, we aim to get 8 touch points at the minimum with each prospect. So that's it for the lead generating phase. Now what we had to do was we had to optimize the Google Ads to start performing better. The way that we went about this is we didn't even try to reinvent the wheel. We knew that what we had working with at the time needed some work. We knew that some things needed to be changed. So what we did was we reached out to different companies from different countries that had Google Ads that were performing well. We looked at those ads, what was working, what we liked, what could apply to our customers here in Jamaica, what could apply to our customers to help them. And we used those ads as a blueprint to design our own ads. Copy, offer, site links, extensions, you name it. We set up one campaign and that was it. We went from generating somewhere between 23 to 25 leads per month, which was a drastic drop off from their best months. Their best months they had like 33 to 35, tops 40. So now they were generating about 23 to 25 leads per month. We went from generating 23 to 25 leads per month to consistently generating 88 to 95 leads. So that's kind of where the quadruple comes in. What is the lesson here? The lesson here is that there are many things that you can do to improve the performance of your Google Ads. The other lesson that we want you to understand is there are many ways to grow your business online. Google Ads is just one way to generate leads and clients and revenues. For a detailed marketing strategy on how to generate leads for your business and grow your business online, click here.